Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sadashivasamarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Narayanam Padmabhavam Vasishtam Shaktim cha Tatputra Parasharam cha Vyasam Shukam Gauda Padam Mahantam Govinda Yogindra Matasya Sishyam Shri Shankaracharya Matasya Padma Padam cha Hastamalakam cha Shishyam Tam Totakam Vartikakaramanyaan Asmadgurun Santatamanatosmi Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Samasta Kalyani Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Vishwam Darpana Drishyamana Nagari Tulyam Nijantargatam Pashyannatmani Mayaya Bhagirivodbhutam Yata Nidraya Yasakshat Kurute Prabodha Samaye Swatmanamevadvayam Tasmai Sri Gurumurtaye Namayidam Sri Dakshinamurtaye. We have seen the explanation on this first verse of Dakshinamoorty Stotram, in which Manasollasa had given 31 verses of explanation, in which we have established, or Shankaracharya has established, that Sattatvam Prakashatvam cha Ishwarasya eva na Vasunah. The existence and awareness belong to Ishvaraha only, and the extension of that very existence alone extended to the so-called world that we come to experience. And because it is available to us through the senses and the mind, which are outwardly bound all the time, that it appears that the world that we come to comprehend or see and experience is as the outside. Vishwam Darpana Drishyamana Nagari Tulyam Nija Antargatam Atmani Mayaya Bahihiva Pashyati. It is as though it is outside, even though it is within oneself only. And the so-called the awareness, which is again attributed to all things, the ability to know also is that nature of the same self. Bahiriva udbhutam, manifested outside, yatha nidhraya, just like in swapnavastayam. And then prabodha samaye sakshat kurute, samadhi stitau purushaha. A person who is abiding in the state of oneness with the self, prabodha samaye samadhi stitau purushaha jnana utpatti samaye brahmakara vritti anubhava samaye swa atmanameva advayam. Advayam paramatma swa atma eva. Antar stitaha atma eva sarvabhuteshu stitaha. And this sarvatvatvat, sarvashaktitvat, sarvatmakatvat, Ishvaraha, the Lord is none other than one who is the very self of all and very knower of everything, and sarva vyapakatvat, sarvatmakatvat. That's why it is said, the question raised by the student is Jivaha kaha, Ishvaraha kaha, sarvatmatvam kidrusham. How is that possible that Ishvaraha will have sarvatmatvam? And that is also explained here, because the oneness in the presence of the Lord alone, everything is experienced by everyone. And that is also explained as the jnanam tata kriya, which makes an individual feel that one is a jiva. That jnana shakti tata kriya shakti, both of them are established as Ishvara shakti eva. Every action that we perform, every thought or every awareness, knowledge arises out of the presence of that same self. Since it is present as though in all of them, therefore Ishvaraha iti katyate. Now, having established all that, next question is risen by other schools of thoughts with respect to Ishvaraha Srishtikarta Kim Bhavati. How is that Lord is the creator of the universe? Because objects, when we perceive them, are all inert by nature. Even physical body, without the presence of self, obviously, as a material thing, it is only a matter, which is achetana. So therefore, the next ullasa, as an introduction to the second verse to answer the question of Ishvarasya Srishtikartrutvam. The Ishvaraha, the Lord, as the creator of this universe, that needs to be established here. And how the achetana vastu, jada vastu, chaitanyat jayate. How can an inert thing can create, how can a conscious being can create the inert world? So therefore, Vaisheshikas, what they have proposed is, in the verse number 1, we saw, Upadanam prapanchasya samyukta paramanavaha mritanvito katastasmat bhasate na ishvaranvitaha. Prapanchasya parama anavaha sanyuktaha parama anavaha upadanam. The proposition of the Vaisheshikas is that Anu, atom principle, which today's world we know, the atom particles which the scientists have come to comprehend as the very warp and woof of the entire universe, Vaisheshikas knew a long time back. This atom principle is the coming together of atom principle constitute the physical world. Sanyuktaha Paramanavaha Prapanchasya Upadanam. Upadanam, material cause. Gataha Mrud Anvitaha. A pot is made up of mud. Tasmat na Ishwaranvidaha. If you take a pot, there is a pot. Wait. I always keep it ready. The big pot indeed. So this pot, what is in this mud? Inside, outside, top is also mud, side is also mud, bottom is also mud. Madeva Satyam here. So in this mud pot, where is Ishvara? No, I don't see anybody there. Mridanvidaha Gataha. Na Ishwaranvidaha. What is the material cause? Mud only. Why do you say God created this world? Mud is there, and mud is what thing? Nothing but collection of atomic particles. So, Paramanugata eva gunaha, Paramanugata eva guna rupa rasa adaya. Rupa rasa adaya. It's not only the mud. In this case, mud is the atom particles, with this atomic particles, or what we call paramanu, subatomic particles, and they created this physical universe. There is no Ishvara here involved. Also, if you say no, the universe of objects have got other qualities like form, taste, touch, color. All these things are Paramanugataha eva gunaha Rupa Rasadyaha. And Karye Samana Jatiya Arabande Gunantaram. And the combination of atomic particles having different qualities have created varieties of the universe, and therefore what is in the Karana is seen in the Karya. What is seen in the cause is found in the effect also. It may not have multiple Karanas, multiple atomic particles might have come with having different qualities, and therefore varieties of combinations are also possible. Even in that case also, there is no Ishvaraha involved here. In the material cause, he's talking about material cause. So now in this very context, the Ullasa further proceeds on. We'll come to that point. That is verse number 2. Verse number 2. Third verse is what we have to start with. Karyam yatra samanveti Karanam samavayitat Chakradyam sadhanam yattu Gatasya samavayitat. Third Ullasa. And here he says, Yatra karyam samyak anveti tat samavayi karanam. The technical word that is used is samavayi karanam. Samavayi, the very meaning of samavayi means inherent. The inherent cause, karanam, inherent cause, yatra karye samanvedi. So the effect has the same qualities of that of the cause, only shows the inherent quality of the cause is found as the inherent quality of the effect. In here means natural. In here, it's called inherent. It is in here. So it is in here, whatever is inherent in the karana is found in the inherent nature or quality of the effect. So that is what is known as samavayi. Samavayi karanam, which in our Vedantic context known as upadana karanam. Upadana, material cause. Material cause. So here, swakaryasya samavaye yasmin tat samavayi tasmin yat tishtet. Teta, the example that is given here, okay, not in that, okay, that's fourth. Samavayi karanam, nimitya karanam, asamavya karanam iti karanam trividam prasiddham. Now let us understand three technical words here. Samavayi karanam, inherent cause. Asamavayi karanam, non-inherent cause. And third one is called nimitta karanam, efficient cause. To make this part, there are three things necessary minimum. The mud, which is what we see here, mud. The mud is the primary cause of this pot. The mud has not become the pot without the help of a wheel. In the wheel, potter's wheel alone, the mud is brought in, and then the wheel helped in making the mud to become a pot. That wheel is called an external cause, no doubt, without which the pot cannot be made into that shape. Non-inherent cause, asamavayi karanam. It is not present in the pot itself, in the mud itself. It is external to it, apparently. And that is why it is called asamavayi karanam, non-inherent cause. Then the wheel by itself has not created the pot. The mud became pot because of an efficient individual who is having the knowledge of how to make the mud into a pot with the help of the wheel. He is called nimitta karanam, efficient cause. Usually we have explanation about material cause and efficient cause. We don't bring in the inherent, non-inherent, and nimitta karana. But we understand here there are three of them. Inherent, which cannot be otherwise, meaning if mud is there and out of mud the pot is made, and the pot will have the qualities of the mud for sure. Therefore, inherent cause cannot fail to be present in the effect. Whereas, while looking at the effect, you may not see in non-inherent cause. You don't see the wheel. Obviously, also you don't see the efficient cause which had made that possible. So a mud to become a pot, all the three are essential: inherent cause, non-inherent cause, and efficient cause. Samavayi karanam, asamavayi karanam, and nimitta karanam. All right. So, teshu tribideshu api karaneshu. In all these three causes, Ishwarasya kartrita rupa, Ishwarasya of the Lord's, kartrita rupa of his doership, nimitta visheshatva antarena, without his efficient presence, अन्यः कारणत्व प्रकारे नास्ति इति कथयितुं कारणभेदानां लक्षणानि आह कार्य यत्र इति. Vaisheshikas accept the presence of Ishvara in the creation, but not in the material cause. See, unlike Buddhism and Sankhyan and Jainism, which do not accept the presence of, or do not accept Ishvara at all, God is not there in their philosophy. Whereas Vaisheshikas accept that Ishvara's role is there, but not as the material cause of the universe. Whereas Vedanta holds the view, other than him, nothing else is there. Matta parataram na anyat kinchidasti dhananjaya Mayi sarvamidam protam sutre manigana iva. Bhagavan Krishna declared, other than me there is nothing. So that is obviously Smriti Vakya. Ishavasyam idagam sarvam itkincha jagatyam jagat. That is Shruti Pramana. Purusha evedagam sarvam idbhutam etchabhavyam. Shruti Pramana. Brahmeva hitam sarvam. Brahma eva yahyam sarvam. That is Shruti Pramana again. Tasmatva etasmat akashah sambhudah akashat vayuhu ityadi. Taittiriya Upanishad. Shruti Pramana. But because Vaisheshikas do not necessarily accept Shruti as the authority, therefore they are called Nastikaha. Nastikaha does not mean they don't accept God. They don't accept Shruti as a Pramana. Now, Buddhas are obviously Nastikaha. They won't accept Vedas as the Pramana, but they also don't accept Ishvara. God is not accepted for them, by them. Ahini. Whereas, so Buddhas, Bauddha Mata, they would not accept the Shruti as the Pramana, number one. They also do not accept presence of Ishvara. Whereas Vaisheshikas do not accept Veda Pramana, but they accept God's role in the creation. But the role of God is only as a Nimitta Karanam, na Upadana Karanam. Upadana Karanam is two part. One is called inherent cause, non-inherent cause. Now, we have to prove that, and Vedanta has to prove that, no, Ishvara eva Upadana Karanam api Nimitta Karanam api. Both the Nimitta and Upadana includes the, here, in this context, Samavayi tada Asamavayi api. Both. So, Yasmin Samavaya Sambandha Sambaddham Karyam Jayate Tat Samavayi Karanam. What is Samavayi Karanam? That which is closely related, the effect is closely related to the cause, and therefore that qualities of all that is there in the Karana will be found in the Karya also. In other words, Karya, the effect cannot be without the qualities of Karana. The effect will not be without the qualities of the cause. And that is called Samavayi Karanam. Tadeva Upadana Shabdavachyam cha ityartah. Vedante That itself is pointed out as Upadana Karana in Vedanta. Yat punaha samavaya idara sambandha sambaddham karya utpatti karanam tat nimittam idi vivikshita udaharati. Na samavayi yat tad asamavayi. Now we'll come to that point. What is asamavayi karanam? Next verse. You understood? Non-inherent cause. Inherent cause is the mud. Non-inherent cause is the wheel. Wheel is not found in the pot. Though without the wheel, the pot cannot be made. That we should be understanding. So what is asamavayi karanam? That is the next verse. In this creation. Samavayini tishhtetyat samavayashraye tata karye avadrida samartyam kalpyate samavayitat. Now, in the verse number 4, yat samavayini samavaya ashraye tishtet. It is the non-inherent cause is also there in the samavayi karana, a part of it, or it can be a support. Samavayi ashraye samavayini. One is it is within the inherent cause itself, which is not, you cannot see it. You don't see it. Or it is samavaya ashraye as the support of the inherent cause. What is the role of non-inherent cause? Karye avadrita samartyam. It is avadrita, to make it possible. Avadrita means certain. Avadrita means capable of bringing it for sure. Karye, in the effect, avadrita samartyam, to bring into effect. So it helps the inherent cause to become the effect. It is to make it possible for the inherent cause from cause to effect. What makes it possible from cause to effect? That is, even though unseen, but without which the cause does not become effect. Either it is inherently present in the cause itself, which is not visibly seen by us, or it can be acting as a substratum, silently working to make sure that the cause becomes an effect. Why it is said to be non-inherent? Because it is not found to be in the effect visibly, but upon analysis you will know that without that the cause does not change to become effect. And the example will see how it is so. So, karye avadrita samartyam kalpyate. Kalpyate. Kalpyate, it makes it possible. Kalpyate asamavayi. Asamavayi in non-inherent. So now we'll see the example here. Having explained about how the mud is the inherent cause of the mud itself is in the pot, samavayi karana. Now he is taking another example to provide us what is asamavayi karana, non-inherent cause. If your hair is already splitting, I'm in the right direction. Because Vedanta sometimes go above your head It's called overhead projection. So if you are ducking your head, it will go above you. Swakaryasya samavayah yasmin tat samavayi tasmin tat tishteta. Now, see the example. Tantu sanyoga pada samavayi karaneshu tantushu ityartha. So, take in the case of the thread, a cotton thread or any thread, the thread becoming a cloth, and the thread becoming a cloth by threads coming together. So, the coming together of all the threads is what is making a cloth possible. This coming together of the threads is called asamavayi karana. Coming, the ability to weave, that thread coming together, and see, if you take a fine cloth, you have to, under the, magnifying glass only, you will see the thread also. You cannot easily see it. But when you see the threads, individual threads there, they're very tightly knit there. You will not be able to see in a cloth like this. You will not see that easily. It look like a plain, smooth, but if you carefully look at it under the, very powerful magnifying glass, you will see individual threads, warp and woof of it coming together. That coming together is asamavayi karana. Anena karyekartha samavaya lakshana pratyasakti rupa. It is the ability to coming to the proximity of each other. Tata samavaya ashraye yat tishtet iti yojana swakarya samavaya karana samashraye anena karya ekartha samavaya rupa pratyasakti rupa yata tantugada rupadayah padagada rupashrayena ekarya samashrayaha iti asya udaharanam. So, if you take the thread individually, you will see only inherent cause. The cotton, and the quality of cotton is found in the thread. In a cloth, thread is pulled out. You see it. But as a cloth, which is a final product, as a final product, it not only has got the individual threads, fibers, but also the inherent nature of, apparently a nature of itself to be sticking together. That is what is called pratyasakti rukta, prati asakti, staying together, being woven together. That is the example that is given. Also, you find anyada siddha antantaha patagada rupa ashrayena saha ekarya. So, if you see, even the individual thread having a certain color, say red or blue, and each of the blue thread, when they come together to each other, the entire cloth is blue. The blueness of the individual thread, and when they are coming together as individual threads, the cloth will finally is seen as a blue cloth. So the inherent cause of the individual threads coming together is the asamavayi karana. And because of the samavayi karana color and asamavayi karana of coming together produces the total blue cloth. And the patterns also, when they make, Individual threads having different colors. One may be blue, or 5 of them can be blue, and then 5 of them can be red, and 5 of them can be green. But you will see in a cloth, so beautifully each one of them, coming together. So certain shades of blue, followed by shades of green, followed by shades of yellow, and that very effect that comes out as the final product is due to the ability to come together as a single unit. That is what is called asamavayi karana. It brings about the final product. That's why it is said earlier in the verse, in the second line of the verse, karye avadruta samarthyam. In the effect, it is capable of bringing out the final production of the cloth. That is what is called asamavayi. That is non-inherent quality. If you take a single thread, it will not find it. But as a cloth, when you look at it, it is already there. Similarly, in this example is because of the wheel, you don't see it, but it appears to be external. But this coming together of the mud to make a product as a pot, it is the nature of the mud to have that ability to come together, and it look like not a particle of mud, but as a single product, a final product. All right. What is a nimitta karanam? What is the efficient cause here? So that is said in the next verse. Nimittam karanam tesham ishwarascha kulalavat yat karyam jayate yasmat tasmin tat pratitishthati. Sixth also, mrittikayam gadastantau pataswarnenguliyakam iti vaisheshika prahuhu tata nayyayika api. Vaisheshikas and nayyayikas, logicians. Logicians are also another school of thoughts, and they also have accepted the role of Ishvara as Nimitta Karan. So first to start with, Tesham Ishvaraha Kulalavat Nimittam Karanam. Kulalavat, like a pot maker. Kulalavat Tesham, for them, for the bringing out of the effect. Karanam Nimittam Karanam. Ishvaraha Nimittam Karanam. And Yat Karyam Yasmad Jayate Tasmin Tat Pratitishthati. Yat Karyam Yasmat Yat Karyam Jayate. Yasmat Karanat. From whichever cause, Yat Karyam Jayate. Jayate is born, Yat Karyam effect. From whichever effect, whichever cause the effect is born, Tasmin Karane Tat Karyam Pratitishthati, establishes or stays. Whichever be the Karana, cause from which the effect has come in that effect, Karana alone, in that cause alone, the effect remains. This is a very important statement. Gurudev also has made this point in his 3 laws of causation. You may remember, every effect must have a cause. Effect is nothing but cause in a different form. This is the second statement. So the difference between cause and effect is only in terms of how it appears to be to us. There are 3 factors that makes the effect apparently look different from the cause. One is time. What we call it as a cause is past in terms of time. What is call it as a cause is a time, and what we call it as effect is the present or future. So if you look at the pot, it was mud. Now it is pot. And tomorrow it will be pot only. But what will happen when it is broken? Kahan jayega wo? That very effect will go back to its cause alone. Purnameva, Purnat, Purnamudachyate, Purnasya Purnamadaya, Purnameva Avashishyate. It will go back to its cause only. It cannot go anywhere else. Now, Desha. We'll take Desha, space or time is seen as in the past it was cause, in the present it is effect. Only in terms of time we will say the cause was and the effect is, or cause is, effect will be. Now, if you take a space as one of the another factor, what is space? The distance between objects. Point A to point B, there is a distance. That's what we call it as the space. Distance presupposes time. So nowadays, how far is your home from here? 10 minutes drive. Did I ask time? I didn't ask you time. I said, what is the distance? Why are you telling 10 minutes drive? So the time, that space is calculated in terms of how much time it takes from point A to point B. Again, there are other factors are involved. How are you going? Walking? Yesterday, a day before, we were coming from somewhere. And from where we stopped at some point, and then I put Rameshwaram as the destination. I know it is only 5 minutes. It said 30 minutes. I was shocked. 30 minutes? What traffic? Even if it is traffic, how can it be 30 minutes? The Google map is really wrong. Then I looked at it. I chose walking. Obviously, when you start walking, a 5-minute distance by car will definitely look like 30 minutes. So what is the means by which you are traveling from point A to point B also matters. So space is usually in today's world calculated in terms of time. But understand what is the difference or distance between mud and the pot? What is the distance? There is no distance actually. There is no real distance. So desha is in the form of rupa. Another form it has taken. So the time it has taken to make it as another form. So we can say desha in the form of nama rupatmakam desha here. The form it has taken. That's all. There's no real distance between the cause and the effect. And when you take the third factor, vastu, again vastu is in the form of rupa only. If from the same mud, if I make 4 parts, each one looking different, one vastu different from another vastu, but really speaking, the vastu gata bheda is rupa gata bheda. It is form that is making the difference of one to another. All right. So here, ultimately what it means is, even though these factors are involved, but always the effect remains in the karana only, meaning part always remain in the mud only. The partness is apparent, temporary. In reality, it is only mud, and therefore, yasmat yat karyam jayate, yasmat karanat yat karyah jayate, karyam jayate, tasmin karane tat karyam pratithishtati, remains. So that's why it is said, mrittikaryam mrittikaryam gataha. Mrittikaryam, where is it we are looking at? Yeah. So, nimittam karanam tesham ishwaram kulalukta. So, mrittikaryam kataha, tantohu pataha, suvarne anguliyakam. Tanto in the thread is pataha. Tanto in the thread alone is all the cloth remains. Suvarne in the gold alone, anguliyakam, all the ornaments such as ring, etc. Iti Vaisheshikaha. In this way, Vaisheshikaha, what they are trying to say is, they are not remaining in Ishvara, they are remaining in their Upadana Karana only. Ishvara is only a Nimitta Karan, efficient cause. Efficient cause is not in which all the effect remains. All the effect remains only in the Upadana Karanam, not in the Nimitta Karanam. Clear? Though we accept him as the Nimitta Karana, efficient cause, because of whom this is possible, but the efficient cause does not remain in that efficient cause, the final product does not remain. It remains only in the Upadana Karana. So, Vedanta statement what? Sarvatmakatva Ishvaraha sarveshu tishtadi. He alone is the Adhara, Ashraya for the entire universe. That they say no. Not at all. That is their standpoint. So, iti Vaisheshikaha, Nayyayikaha, api prahuhu. They say this way. Yasmadevam yukti yukta kalpana tasma chetanasya jagat upadanatvam sarvatmatvam iti kalpanam vyapaka upalabdhi viruddham iti upasamharati. Yasmat upadanat yatkaryam jaye tat tasmin praditishthati yata mrittikayam gadaha ityadi udaharanam. Tada cha sarvasya karyasya achetana pradishtatve Achetana pradishta. So all the thing that we see in this world as the world is achetana, inert. All tata sarvasya karyasya, of all the effects, achetana pradishtatve upalamba viruddham chetana upadanatva kalpanam. Therefore, your argument, Vedantin's argument that upadana karana is chaitanya is contradicted here. From the Vaisheshika Nyayika standpoint, because all products being inert, Ishvara being Chaitana Swarupa, and in that argument, what we find is the world, the inert world, establishes and remains only in the inert cause and not what you claim to be the cause, Ishvara, who is Chaitana, they don't remain in him. Therefore, your point that Sarvam Ishvaramayam, Ishvara eva sarvasya karanam ityadi, Vedantasya, Vedanta Vakyani, that statements of the Vedanta is opposed here by the Vaisheshikas and Nyayikas. Now, there is one more school of thought called Sankhyans. These Sankhyans are those who do not accept Ishvara at all. Though, unlike Buddhas, Buddha Mata, what they do, the world itself is not there. Shunyam or Shanika. Shanika means momentarily. So there are two Vadins are there in Buddhas. There are two branches of Buddhism. One is Kshanika Vadin. They accept the momentary consciousness. And the others say there is nothing called consciousness. Everything is Shunyam, emptiness. And they don't therefore accept the world at all. Now, Sankyans, on the other hand, project that there are two things that are there in this world which make this universe possible: Purusha and Pradhana. Pradhana is Prakriti. So, Prakriti and Purusha. And Prakriti has got certain qualities, and that is how it is now taken up for our discussion now. Sankhya yuktaha pradhana gunaha. Rajasattvam tamascheti pradhanasya gunastrayah rajo raktam chalam teshu sattvam shuklam prakashakam tamakrishnam chavarakam सृष्टिस्थितन्य हेतवः अत्यंत हेतवः सृष्टिस्थित्यंत हेतवः इति सांख्याश्च भाषन्ते तेषां दूषणमुच्यते. Pradhanasya gunaha trayah. Three are the qualities of the Pradhana: Rajaha, Sattvam, Tamaha, Chaiti. Rajas, Tamas, and Rajas, Sattva, and Tamas. So they have taken the order differently. The reason is also there. Now, Sankhya Yoga is very well established the categorization. That's why Sankhya means to count. Count means to tabulate, categorize. And Vedanta has accepted the concept of Prakriti of Sankyans, for they have established the qualities of Prakriti as Sattva, Rajas, Tama iti gunaha Prakriti Sangama, Prakriti gunaha Trividaha iti. Prakriti Sambhavaha, it is also used by Bhagavan Krishna to explain in the Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga. And of course, their idea of these gunas of the Prakriti is for creation. Whereas Bhagavan Krishna has taken the gunas to establish qualities of the mind. Up to that point only, not for creation. Creation, it is used, no doubt, but not independently. Prakriti is capable of bringing about effect without the power of the Lord who makes that possible. As a Ishwarasya Maya Shakti, Shakti Dwarena Srishtihi, and Maya has got these Trigunas. So here let us come to see the difference between Sankyans and Vedantins slowly. Now you see, Rajas Sattvam Tamascha iti Pradhanasya gunaha trayah. Now, Rajo Raktam, the Chalam, Rajas is of the nature of raktam, attachment, chalam, change, sattvam, shuklam. Sattvam, on the other hand, is pure, prakashakam, brilliant, tamaha, krishnam, dark, avarakam. Avarakam, we can say it as the best word for that is it is avarakam actually. Avarakam, not avarakam. Avarakam. Avarakam, it conceals, covers, hides. Srishtihi, sthitihi, atyanta hetavaha. So therefore, these three respectively are hetavaha, causes. For what? Srishti, for creation. Sthitihi, for maintenance. Ati anta, final destruction. Atyanta, ultimate also. In some atyanta dukkha means super sorrow. Here atyanta means to be understood as final destruction, dissolution, so to say. So here, teshu guneshu madhye raktam ranjanatmakam upastambakam iti yavat. Ranjanatmakam, of the nature of color, modifications, and supporting aid for the creation. And tata chalam, chalana swabhavam also, that is of the nature of fickleness, and that is yat tat rajoguna iti rajogunam ityartha. Evam uttarapi yojana shuklam shuddham lagu, light, prakashakam sarvartha sadakam sattvam. So that sattva is on the other hand is white, brilliant, and sarva artha sadakam, capable of accomplishing things. Tamaha krishnam, malina swabhavam, of the nature of malina, impure. Avarakam, avarakam, concealing. Aviveka karam, it is by concealing, making everything look bleak and unclear. Inability to differentiate. Esha sadbhavam sadayati srishti sthiti atyanta hetavaha iti rajogunaha srishti hetuhu. In this, rajas is the srishti hetu, srishtehe karanam. Sattvam sthiti hetuhu, sthitasya karanam, sthiti karanam. Tamaha pralaya hetuhu, pralayasya karanam tamaha. Yudi yojana. Katam yesham srishtyadi hetutvam, how they have become the cause for creation, etc. Iti uttaram uttaratra bhavishyati. This will be explained further as we go into the other ullasas for explaining the same verse. Iti sankhyayaha sankhyaascha bhashante tesham dushanam uchyate. This is the standpoint of Sankhya philosophy. And now the verse number 2 is to explain all this, how they are not from the standpoint of Vedanta. Asmin mate nimittattvena api na chetana apeksha jagatah iti upasamharati iti sankhyayascha bhashante iti. Therefore, for the creation of the world, according to Sankyans, there is no need for chetana shakti, because rajoguna of this pradhana will create, and sattvaguna will sustain, and tamoguna will dissolve. So this is constantly happening as it is, without any intervention of any chetana tattva. Therefore, Ishwarasya avashyakam na. There is no need for bringing God here. This is our Science also, today's world, that is what they talk about. Where is the need for God? The creation is creation independently. See, if you look at it, Christianity, Islam, Judaism, and such other Semitic religious philosophy, religion and philosophy, they do not accept, like Vaisheshikas and Nayayikas, they do not accept the God as part of the creation. He created, and seventh day he rested, and he is nothing to do with the world. He is not he is not inherently present in all beings. He is not inherently present in all objects, isn't it? He is not worshipped as stones and the trees and the plants and the animals. Do they? No, because he's not there. Up in the heaven somewhere, you have to worship him, and perhaps, according to the grace and blessings of the God, one will obtain whatever hell or heaven or paradise, whatever be the philosophical conclusion there. But he is not present in the world, in the objects, or in the beings. You may be a good person, you may be a bad person, but God is not in you. You can pray, you can meditate as an external power, external presence. Whereas if you look at Vedanta, that's how I want to make you clear at how Vedanta inhere in the Hindu religion. Even though Hindu religion believes in Krishna or Rama or whatever be the form of God we worship, but we do worship all other objects of soul in the world. Is a tree worshipped. Why they worship Nadi or the rivers and the trees and the plants and the rocks and everything? Inheres. He inherently there. Is not somewhere else. So probably if they say he is here also, as well as in the Vaikuntha or Shivaloka, wherever it is also. Where Vedanta says, here only. There is nothing called somewhere else go. Here only. In everything as everything. You don't need to go anywhere. Whereas in the Semitic religious concept, he is not here. You can pray in a church or pray in a mosque and pray in a synagogue, whatever it is. But he's not in the material things that you use every day. So you see the whole attitude that any object you take or any person you take or any living being also, it's a living being, not God's presence. Whereas it is inherently in the Hindu culture that आप कौन हो? आप भगवान हो. पहले you start with your Bhagavan. Whatever is other than that Bhagavan is what is called Rakshasa. That you are actually not. But what sort of you appears to be in front of me. But I know inherently you are Bhagavan. Divinity is inherently present in all. So this Vedantic understanding of inherent presence of God in everything, and that is to refute that even though Chetana Tattva Ishvaraha, Chetanavanapi, even though the sentient principle Ishvaraha is sentient by nature, how can he be the Upadana Karan of the world? That needs to be established to show to the Vaisheshikas and Nayayikas as well as the Sankyans, material cause is also Ishvaraha. So we'll see that in the next class. We'll start with the verse number 2 next class, and then further Ulasa will explain. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramayah, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschid Dukkhabhat Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha.